psychopathy is found near and in larger cities. Robert Hare became famous for his work studying psychopathy. This work was, I think, monumental in our understanding of how a, quote, real psychopath behaves. And he suggests that psychopaths are attracted to these larger cities because it might allow psychopaths to blend in easier, or maybe they have a larger group of people from which they would kind of observe and draw and collect behaviors. It helps them to hide because you have more the closer you live to people, the more anonymity you have. So it's the bystander effect on a social scale is what's happening there. You have more anonymity in New York City because no one gives a shit who you are. This is mental separation from nature. You've heard somebody say before they enjoyed spending time in nature. And of course, we've all felt it too, but you hear this so often because there's something indescribable about its effect on us as creatures. So these kind of indescribable feelings get us a little closer to truth, like feeling what truth is, where we're supposed to be. This is the social collapse scale. This is the society and individual perceptions of their level of control in their own life. Next, we have that group's level of social connection. Are they connected to each other? And then finally, we have distance from authenticity. You see these lines coming through here. You can see Dubai. They believe that they have lots of control. Social going down. And then almost everything is simulated about living in Dubai. And what's astonishing is that we have the highest over here are like third world countries are the closest to nature. So the poorest countries score the highest on happiness indexes. This is universal. You can use this graph to kind of predict where somebody is going and what needs to change. But the cool thing about this isn't just a country or a community. This is a family. This is a company. Those are the three axes that we're kind of using now to predict collapse and to prevent collapse. Physically, mentally, every other way that you can think of, everything in psychopathy is about separation. Having lived in a city your whole life makes you 2,000% more likely to suffer these illnesses, psychopathy included. Wherever you look in the world, the further a human being or animal is from their natural environment or just nature, the more biological and physiological pathology starts showing up. We remove an octopus from the sea and keep it in the most perfect conditions that we can imagine. There's a person there 24 hours a day checking the salt levels in the water, the pH, the perfect balance, making sure the mineral content is exactly right. Even that octopus, we shorten its lifespan. The next time that you're walking through a large city or a grocery store that's gigantic, I want you to fully understand that there is an ancestor that's 10,000 years old sitting inside of your head, which there very much is, looking at all of that and having no idea how to process anything. Complete and absolute bewilderment. And it has no way to communicate that to you. So it has anxiety and it starts distancing itself over and over, and dissociation, more dissociation. It has to start simulating things to make you feel healthy again. And then we start developing psychopathy. Experiments have demonstrated that the more people that are present during a crisis, the less people will help one another. The most common one that I show is at Liverpool Street Station in London, where the woman's lying there on the ground begging for help. Not just helpless, begging for help. And no one does anything. Some of them stepping over her while she's squirming to get to their train on time. It's crazy. So there may be benefit to spending time with nature, but I think there's a deep and pathological flaw in that way of thinking. We are viewing ourselves as separate from nature to begin with. Kind of a cloistered, narcissistic, self-referential view on the world that causes people outside to suffer. And every cell inside of our bodies also start to decay. And I think it's kind of a pandemic that's going on. All of the evidence is there. And it's not like you need to go read a research paper that one guy did in India somewhere. It's like every research paper says this, and no one really talks about it. In the mind, we suffer the elements of hidden psychopathy. Our bodies go through the same decay into a similar state of disease. And I call this biopathy. Biopathy just reflects any species that's adrift from their origin. It forfeits the innate wisdom of biology. It's a term that just the word itself just kind of captures the profound loss of an unspoken language. It's that maybe the primal dialogue between DNA and the earth. You foster a sense of uncertainty at the social level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and you generate a sense of confusion around the concepts of belonging and identity. If you look at Maslow's pyramid, everything above survival is identity. Everything. Like, what tribe am I in? Do I feel good about myself? Am I achieving something? So you create unpredictability in the economic system. You instill doubt at the survival and resources level of Maslow's hierarchy. The number one cause of anxiety is the lack of a person being able to reliably predict their future. So in an era marked rapid information dissemination and social media influence, one of the most effective ways to control and manipulate is to deliberately create confusion about basic fundamental concepts like biology or regular science. So this strategy involves challenging widely accepted scientific facts and historical understandings, and the aim is to blur the lines between objective truth and subjective belief. I wrote this 17 years ago. I wish I hadn't. It was written right as camera phones were coming out. This kind of collective narcissism that allows us to view our species as being both above and separate from nature. So the way that we lessen the power of anything is by bringing it into the light. Because if something gets stronger when it's pulled out into the light, it must be great for everybody. But if we're pulling it out into the light and its power is lessened, that should tell you something.